I'm about to clock your shit right back double time. That is probably the most ADHD type B thing ever, just having a disco ball hanging with your pants. I just want to frolic. I have sat up. They proper look like moons. Just had to spiral first. How can you be a supplier if you don't supply? I'm so overwhelmed. Hello. Fancy seeing you here. How are yous? Neurodivas. It's another week, but I'm starting this on a Wednesday. I need to update you on a few things because there are problems. Problems on problems on problems. I don't know if I manifested this because last week I said my brain just wants more problems to solve. I didn't mean these problems. I'm blaming it on the eclipse, okay? Because whenever it's eclipse season, things go to shit. It's ruthless. Does it affect you as much? The feeling of the world is ending in every aspect of your life. Are you gonna watch the eclipse today? It's today, by the way, later on. Not another one for 90 years. And I do remember the one in the late 90s, even though I was like 4 or 5 years old. And they're saying don't look directly at the sun because you damage your retinas. And I mean, I'm not in the business to damage my retinas, let's be honest. Otherwise I will be ordering a guide dog. So, but I put this on my story yesterday. I genuinely think with the way the eclipse has been carrying on, if I went to watch it, I would turn into stone. Sorry, this is really started on like a, but I promise, once I update you about the shop, it's only up from here, you know? Also, I'm chinning a Capri Sun. Someone needs to make this into some sort of cocktail, you know what I mean? Like, I'm imagining Moscow Mule situation with a Capri Sun twist. Don't you think that would be delicious? Let me tell you about the shop so we can just get this out of the way. So last week we launched. Hey, we launched. Bare orders coming in. All of a sudden, supplier for the baby tees and the racer tanks emails me and goes, "Darling, we've run out of stock." And I was like, okay, till when? October. So that was, I've only just launched though. I've got a lot of orders sitting there waiting to be fulfilled. How can you be a supplier if you don't supply? So with the orders affected, I had to email all of the babes and say, "Sorry darling, gotta give you a refund." And then I had to actually organise the refund, which I've never done before, obviously. So I'm doing it. The first order, I'm like figuring it out. It's not that easy to figure out. It's a lot of like admin, which we all know I'm not that good at. I organised the refund. I refund the whole order when I was supposed to refund just the clobber part of the order. So someone's just got a free order. I was like, cool, yeah, this is going really well. And you can't reverse it and you can't like, you can't do anything about it. So anyway, one of the babes has just got a free order. You're welcome. Anyway, moved on, refunded the rest of them. Hopefully they should be receiving their refunds this week. The next thing I had to solve was making them out of stock online, which should be simple in the grand scheme of things, right? You're probably sitting there like, oh, there's a button that you click and it just says out of stock. No, they make it so hard. You can't make anything out of stock unless you unlink it, unlink all of the SKUs, which if you've been following these weekly check-ins, a couple of weeks ago when I was setting it up, I told you how long that took. That took me hours, yeah, hours. So I was like, well, I'm not gonna unlink them because if they are gonna come back in stock, which they are in October, I don't wanna have to do this again. So I was like, how else can I get around this? So I've drafted the baby tee page so it doesn't even show on the website anymore, which is kind of annoying because I don't think that's necessary. Like, I would like to display it and just have out of stock. The next problem was the racer like vest tank thing. Only the red is in stock. So all of the black I just wanted to make out of stock. Same sort of thing as the baby tees. Could I do that? No, because you have to make the red out of stock as well. Otherwise you have to hide the whole page. And I can't do that because the red is in stock. So then I would be like affecting sales, and if anyone wanted the red one, then you can't have it because honestly, if you don't laugh, you'll cry. So let me show you what I've done, which I hope you think is a good idea, because obviously that was a shit. I hate it when you do a shit clap. You know what I mean? Hopefully you think this is a good idea and that this is clear enough until October when everything comes back in stock. But the fact that they are out of stock, they were the most popular products as well, is really stressful. Who launches in the first week and then everything goes out of stock? I actually can't. Anyway, right, let me just show you. Oh, ignore that spot, by the way, in the middle of my nut. This is a really unfortunate placement. Anyway, I just had to address that because I caught it in the screen. Okay, so on the homepage, yeah, up here, look, baby tees out of stock. Sorry, that just changed. So this is changing constantly, yeah? So baby tees out of stock back in October. So you can see it as soon as you're on there. No baby tee page, which is jarring, but it is what it is. And this is what I've put. Black is out of stock back in October. I've enlarged the font. If someone doesn't see that, you could still order. I don't love that, personally. Of course, if someone was to accidentally order the black, I would refund immediately. So there's no worries there. Let's just hope, pray and cross our tits that the stock does come back in October. And do you want to hear some tea? Right, if there's one thing to know about me, yeah, if you try and clock my shit in an email, I'm gonna sit up. I have sat up and I'm about to clock your shit right back, double time down. Especially if you're a geezer, okay? So the supplier has been emailing me to tell me the things are out of stock and the orders that are affected separately, which is quite stressful for me because if everything comes through separately, there's a chance I might miss something, or like, wouldn't it just be good to, if they know that the orders are going to be affected, to just look at my account, these are all the orders that are affected, I'm going to extract that information, send it to her in an email, send, see you later. No, they're doing like one at a time, and I'm just like, mate. So I say, thanks for letting me know. I've had a few emails like this now, so can you see if there are any more and just group them together, you know, so I can proceed accordingly? Well, do you want to hear the email that I got? Right, where is it? Geezer, matey, emails back and goes, the emails sent are sent based on any order affected. So if you have orders in the system that we haven't emailed about, then those orders are unaffected. The way that email is written is like, you're annoying. I'm gonna explain this to you like you're 4 years old and have one brain cell to your name. I don't think he expected me to clock him right back. So I just said, hi, that makes sense. You emailed me yesterday with so many orders with the same issue separately. I'm asking if you could see if there are any more orders affected and grouped together in one email so I can proceed as a whole rather than getting separate emails, which I'm sure would be easier your end too. There are and will be a lot of orders coming through, so I'd really like to get on top of this with you. Geezer emailed again in 10 minutes, tone completely changed. Exclamation marks, happy to help. It's really important that obviously if this is going to be the supplier going forward, that they are helpful just as much as I am to them with, you know, responding and sorting out the orders and stuff like that. That's where we're at the moment. Have I done any marketing this week? No. This is something we've really got to sort out. The same with the promo video. Anyway, we can only do what we can do. Do you know what? We've not even started with music. I can't be having that. Let me turn the speaker on. Who's got one of them? She's good, isn't she? What are we feeling? This will boot us in both shins ready for this week. Have you snowman, hanging out in the discotheque. Now I believe in the boogie. Boogie don't believe in me. I got my wheels moving. Nah. Disco guy, you'll be sorry if you pass me by. I got what you need. Boy, I wouldn't tell you no lie. Okay, tell me you're not fired up now. Tell me you ain't fired up. That, I mean, you probably know it already, but that was Brainstorm. Loving is really my game. And that is the sample from Floor Plan. Tell you no lie. You probably knew that as well. But there was one time I posted that track on TikTok and someone was like, oh my God, this is the first time I'm finding out that this is the original. It's Eclipse time, but I couldn't get the glasses, unfortunately. I saw this girl on Insta say that she had a happy disco accident a couple years ago with a partial eclipse where the sun was reflecting in the disco ball and then reflecting out the shape of the moon passing the sun, which I thought was so cute. And I've actually got a little disco ball and I thought I'm gonna try it. And now, look at the ceiling. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but it's so cute. The little crescent moons. There she is. Hanging with my pants. That is probably the most ADHD type B thing ever, just having a disco ball hanging with your pants. I don't know if you can tell, but it's getting darker. That makes me excited. And the shape of the crescent. I'll tell you what's not got me excited, though. The headache I've got. And I'm blaming it on the eclipse, because I never get headaches. So why today? It's getting dark. Is everyone going to start losing their shit and start beeping and that? Is it going to be like The Purge? Oh my God. I've got a splitting headache. I would show you, but apparently it damages the camera and all, which I thought bollocks. But actually, when I heard a scientist talk about it, or an astronomer, I can't remember which one it was, they were saying that it doesn't have the shutter thing on the camera because it's dark, so it doesn't know. So it will literally ruin your camera. The same as what will happen if you looked with your eyeballs, your retinas would burn. So I hope you ain't done that. Look at the little moons now! They proper look like moons. Look at the moon. How good does it look here? Look! It's actually so dark. It looks like them moon and stars that you know the moon and stars you get when you're a kid and they glow in the dark. Chat. I'm about to cry, honestly. What time is it? 1:15. It's Thursday, by the way. 35 degrees today, so I'm already overstimulated. I was gonna do what I did last time when it was 35 degrees and go to the park, and I was actually gonna do like a little bit of a Q&A with you because I have questions that I got on my Instagram story the other day about like the business and the shop and everything, and like a bit of a disco agony aunt situation, like disco auntie, which would have been so fun to film outside. But take a deep breath. I linked something wrong on Shopify somewhere, and I don't know what it is or where. I can't figure it out. I'm so overwhelmed. I know what my strengths are, and it's not this, it's not admin. Like, this is the sort of stuff that like I would get someone else to do if obviously I could do that, which I can't, because obviously I can't afford that. But even when I double check things, triple check things, things still get mixed up. It's so silly to cry. One sec. I think the problem is there's like a missing link, right? But I can't see where that is. Honestly, for someone with ADHD, this sort of thing just feels so intense, and it don't help because my emails are not organised, and I try and organise them, but then they just get unorganised again. All the numbers start blurring into one, and it's 35 degrees. This week's vlog is not it, is it? Sorry to bring the mood down, but this is what's happening. I fixed it. I fixed it. I just had to spiral first. Like, I always knew it would be alright, but I just had to cry first and get it out of the way, you know? Do you know what makes it better? It weren't actually my fault as well. So what happened was, all the SKUs were linked correctly. It was the warehouse that hadn't pulled through to the extra SKUs. So you have like the original product, just say the black baby tee. I wanted the red variant, but because that's an added extra, you have to manually go in and select the warehouse. Otherwise it's just blank, right? So I had to go in and do it manually for each one. Everything should be fixed now. What a week. I was thinking earlier, can I actually do this? This is an actual full-time job. It's basically the end of the day now, and I've done nothing apart from this. But at least that fuck up is over. I really want to do something fun so that I can forget about this stress. I just want to frolic. Is that too much to ask? What a week. What a week. I'm sorry, neurodivas. Is it the right time to ask you to subscribe? This seems like it's out of pity, doesn't it? Don't worry about it. I'm just overwhelmed, and I'm realising that is a full-time job in itself, as well as being a content creator, as well as doing YouTube, as well as everything else. Wow, overwhelmed. Anyway, just come back next Sunday, 5 p.m. Next week should be better. This will flow better rather than just end abruptly like this. I don't like to do this. I don't like to leave you in this way, but unfortunately, this is just what's happened. It's been an absolute shit show. Anyway, I love you and I'll leave you. Bye, neurodivas.